me to refer them towards something else, so I pass that information along to them, so. Have you guys, any other problems with
Can I
that?
make a comment about that
Yeah.
now? I don't care so much about that somebody wants to target shoot. What I care about is that it's shooting away from his property and towards my property, right along the fence line.
Right. And we don't, like I said, we don't have any jurisdiction to say anything with that. They said you'd have to pursue a nuisance, be a nuisance act.
Sheriff refused to walk the fence line while he was shooting.
Why not?
I said, you walk the fence line and tell me that he's shooting in a safe manner.
Sure. Well, I spoke with them, then I spoke with you guys, so I mean, that's the information.
So I don't know,
pass along.
I just don't know what you're supposed to do. I mean, you can't let your animals out there.
That's all I had under unfinished business. Nope. Good, new business.
Do you want, you have these covered somewhere else then?
New business,
Number
good,
three.
vacant auction.
We've got another 2 election concerns and 4 firearms.
What was the election?
Mr. Watkins, ask the board about some things.
You wanna do that under unfinished business?
Where do we want it?
You got some more unfinished business real quick? Go ahead. Discuss it more.
Under election concerns?
Yeah.
Okay, at the organizational meeting, we did allow public comment and there was some,
Can't hear.
I'll use the PA.
Yeah, use it.
Okay, is it working? At our organizational meeting, 2 issues had come up, we did allow public comment. One of them was the firearm issue that you're gonna talk about, right? That firearm issue is about the auctions in the township hall, it wasn't about noise. Under elections concerns, Mr. Watkins came in here and made some false accusations. He did declare that there was gonna be a hearing in Columbus, which there was. Just to clarify, and if anyone's interested, this is all public record, it's case 2012E-001. And just to summarize all of these things that Mr. Watkins alleged, the probable cause panel determined there was no probable cause or a violation and dismissed the complaint. So that's pretty much that in a nutshell.
Does that mean we can carry a concealed weapon in there?
For what?
Well, if you got a concealed carry permit,
We haven't talked about that, about the guns?
yeah.
No, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Another thing that was brought up was there was an auctioneer there that had several firearms in it. It was taken to the prosecutor. She had come back with an answer. You have that?
Yeah, basically, you can sum it up, it's a non-issue, so if you wanna, however much you wanna share.
I can just read this for everybody. What the prosecutor had sent to us, it says, as such, it doesn't look like the CCW, the concealed carry weapons law itself, or the signage for carried or concealed firearms would apply to firearms that are not concealed and that are for sale at auction or on governmental property. Just need to make sure that no one is concealing the weapon by putting it in their pockets, etc., at any time, either before or after the purchase.
So someone can walk into the building carrying one?
You can walk in the building carrying one, they'll get you for a decent hand. That's what they'll do. So, but there's no rule that says they cannot have an auction and sell firearms in there. I think we could probably set some kind of standard if they have an auction with guns, they need to be banded or something like that in there. Which all they do is they put a heavy duty zip tie to the chamber, just so nobody can force with it. If they wanted to go that route. That'd just be something.
I would suggest you put on the meeting agenda next month to review the park committee rules that would fall under that. It could easily be remedied there with something to that effect. We also have a sign over there that's cracked. Before we replace that sign, probably should get with Alice and check the verbiage of that. That it might be a bit more appropriate sign to post.
That answer your question? New business under the zoning board members, I think we're gonna cover that already. Medical insurance, we covered that already.
You got it in Bowling Green, at that auction.
Okay, now for a new business, yeah.
It's upon Keller Road, Dan.
No.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment. Anybody have public comment?
I do.
Yeah, can I go first?
Ladies first.
Okay.
No, it's okay, it's
Point of
okay.
order, before you start that, we were supposed to read the code of conduct, we don't have them apparently with us. You can just review, tell them what the rules are, I'll help you out just now for it.
Just for public comment, we're gonna do a 3-minute topic,
3 minutes.
1 minute rebuttal, so
Okay.
kind of make it. Go ahead.
Okay, 3 minutes. Wanted to ask you about the job openings.
Okay.
Okay, did you post the job openings?
No,
Who hired them?
the trustees.
All of you hired the people, interviewed them? How did they know about the job?
It's not really that they knew that there was gonna be a job opening come up. I know I've had several people ask me, you know, if Township hiring, and this isn't just an overnight thing or within a week, it's over a period of time. I know Dan had, you know, a gentleman or two ask him.
Before there was a job opening, they had asked you?
Yes, as of December 31st, 2011, we had the 3 township workers that we have resign. They said they no longer wanted to work for the township.
Okay, but how did the new guys that you just hired, how did they know that there was an opening, and how did they happen to get, I mean, you didn't post the job.
Okay.
How many times did you ask in all the time we've been coming here if you could work for the township? How many times? To Donnie and I don't know who else. Probably numerous times he asked if the township was hiring. We didn't even know that there was a job. It wasn't posted. He didn't get to apply, and they're hired already.
Yeah, we don't have an application process, nothing like that. So, you know, as of December 31st, I didn't know that they were going to quit either.
Well, how come there wasn't anything posted ever to let anybody apply? That's what I'm saying. How do you know, if you didn't get anybody apply, how do you know that these were the right guys? You know, you could have gone through an application system.
Sure.
You
We
could
didn't
have
have
given
these guys
people
on
a
full
chance
time,
to
they're on a
apply.
90-day trial period, is what they're on.
But you're missing the point.
No, no.
Bob didn't get to apply because he didn't know that there was an opening, because it was never posted to apply. And so no one was then ever applied to be interviewed for the job. They're just, I mean, that was a short time. It's not even, it's just barely the end of January, and they're hired, and it's done, it's over.
Okay, what would you have done if January 10th we had a snowstorm and we got 6 inches of snow every day for 4 days
So
straight?
you guys never knew that he wanted to apply?
That
And
Bob,
all the time
I didn't know.
that we've been coming here,
Bob never
and
said
he's
anything.
he asked Donnie over and over. I don't know if he ever asked Danny or said anything to Danny, but he did to Donnie numerous times. But we didn't know that these guys had quit to even apply. And while you're on the subject, this is my next subject. On Sunday, January 22nd, we headed off to church at 9:45 in the morning. I got to the top of Rankin Road, and I said, "Oh my gosh!"
3 minutes.
Bob said, "Just go, just go." It was solid ice. So, were these guys hired already by then? Let's see, January 22nd.
You know I was out that day every day. It snowed, ice, whatever. I was out in the truck.
There was not one speck of
I
that
would-
black
I
stuff
wouldn't
on
say
the
that. That's
road,
not true.
and that was straight downhill. You saying that's not true?
Yes, there was
I
nothing
was
there.
I was in the car driving, and I was sitting at the top of the hill. So don't tell me that ain't true.
How many times did you call me and say that the hill's icy?
We were just sitting there. Was I supposed to call you like right that second, sitting at the top of the hill?
No. Did you call me afterwards?
I didn't go out that
Didn't
night.
have to call.
You're right, you shouldn't, because we were down that road.
No.
Not down this road.
You
There
guys-
was not a speck of anything
We've
on
had
that
we've
road.
had 3 minutes.
Oh, that was pretty rude. Really pretty rude.
My name's Dave Scanner. First I want to apologize for speaking out of order there, but my comment that I had to do with the topic we was talking about on the zoning, so I apologize for that. And in that respect, is it possible, like, you know, the public comments is down, it's clear down at the bottom of the list of number 9. And I've heard different subjects brought up that I have heard different, and those not completely right, but I didn't speak up again. I did that one time, I apologize. Can someone make a motion that if there's a topic being discussed and there's input from the, local residents that come to the meeting to speak up and clarify what they know. Is it possible to make a motion that we can interrupt a meeting?
I don't think we need to make a motion. I don't have a problem if somebody has a comment that is gonna contradict one way or the
Well, you see how
other.
many times it happened tonight, and some of the people, like myself, I was able to speak. Some of the other people back here wasn't allowed to speak, and it was on the topic that you was discussing.
And we're not trying to pick and choose, it's just not gonna get
I
out of order.
understand, but I didn't know if it might be something that could move number 9 up further on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, we've
Yeah.
talked about having public comment, first, last, a couple times, it's just,
Okay.
we put it at the end, that way we go through all the business, people have questions, comments.
Okay.
They.
Well, I just seen it was a problem tonight, there was a lot of, interruptions, so I apologize for the time I did it, so. I just thought maybe if you could move it up or make a motion that someone can speak up, but you've already said we can, if we need to, you think?
Sure, I think, raise your hand, say, hey, I got something that's gonna.
Raise your hand. Okay.
Right.
Thank you, thank you.
My comment is with them,
It was
I
never
agree with them,
that
because
way.
the trouble is, when it's time for us to say anything, we forget what we really want to say.
Batteries
You know,
on
what
your
about the park situation? There's been a lot of us who's been here over 30-some years. We know how the park got started, we know who done the work, everything else, and all of a sudden now Barb's taking, she's the main thing about this park. She's not the main thing, it's the people in Bowling Green Township. Not Barb, not none of us. Everybody puts something into that park. But I tell you who really started the park is Don, Jim, and, Jim, help me out, buddy.
Jack,
Jack Hedges
Walter.
and Walter.
no, Roy
voted
Snyder.
against it 3 times.
No, I'm sorry about that, Walter. speaking of
Roy
that.
Snyder.
He was there.
But anyway, that's not, the point is, you guys say things, Chorpenning, you never started that park. None of us did. We all did. And we all had a hand in it. But Barb cannot be the main thing, to keep this park running. I can't believe you spent, half hour, 45 minutes on Barb.
Barb, yeah.
I'm just kinda curious, but do the trustees talk to each other outside the meeting, or are you only allowed to talk to each other during the meeting? Because it looks like to me, you guys are getting blinded. It's like you're coming in here and you have no idea the stuff's going on.
You're not allowed to conduct business outside the meeting.
So you're not allowed to talk to each other about something that's occurring.
It depends on
You have
what,
to go to a meeting.
it depends on what you're talking about. If we're talking about the schedule for the day and who's salting the roads.
Correspondence.
If
You
it's,
can't tell each other about all the correspondence?
you can't,
Is it a policy that you don't?
everybody
Because
up
that's
here
what
is
it sounds
required
like.
to take Ohio sunshine laws and know the law, so they should clearly know what they can and can't discuss. But functional things you can certainly discuss. And the public needs to understand here that this winter, I know it's been said 100 times, I didn't do nothing, but that's a fallacy. I've been out in the plow.
I want to talk about that, I'm talking
No, I'm
about,
talking
you're in
about-
my 3 minutes. I'm talking about you guys
Did you
communicating
want
with
answers
each
or do you
other.
just want to talk?
I don't want it directly from you, no, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Is it possible trustees can talk to each other about the correspondence, so when you go to the meeting, you guys aren't getting slapped because you have no idea what's going on? Because that's exactly what I saw
Most
today.
definitely, I think we should,
As far as the legal information, and I went out of my way to make sure that you got it, the president got it. I don't know why Jenny didn't get it, I thought she was the first to get it. You got it, you're copied on all that pertinent information.
Only on my zoning stuff,
Well, that's all you're
not
about.
all your stuff.
You don't need to have all our
BGT
stuff.
zoning.
Why is Chorpenning so rude to people that question him, or got something to say about him or to him? 3 times tonight he's been on the zoning inspector. He treated her worse than a dog. A couple other people got something to say, and boy, he jumps right in there. It's not public comment time, but it's right at the time when something needs to be said. But Chorpenning sat there, and one other thing, he's talking about working on the park committee. We spent, 3 or 4 days out there this last summer, putting up all the new stuff. Vicki was there, and there were several people here, but Chorpenning and none of his good buddies was there to help. That's about it.
Rude doesn't stop.
That's out.
Joe. Rude goes right across the
Is
table.
there a law against you guys having an executive session before the meeting? So that you have all this backing up on what she does, have all this ironed out, so that when you come before the public, you present a united front instead of arguing among yourselves over what's going on? Is there a law that says you can't have an executive
I
session?
never had a
Yes.
chance to tell him.
There are only specific, very specific instances where you can have executive session. It has to follow to those very stringent guidelines.
Well, I was on the Developmental Disability Board for years, and we always had an executive session before each meeting. And that's an open meeting and it's a governmental entity, so I think you guys need to get together on what you're doing, because going on like this and arguing among yourselves does not do anything.
You can't do it by executive session.
And on the other question about the park committee, the park committee was formed because people in the community didn't like what was going on with whoever was running it at the time. And it was to be a voluntary thing, and the people that ran it, the board, all that, was my assumption that the president was elected from among the volunteers.
That's right. That's how it occurred.
And after that happened, I asked that there be a committee report every month. There has never been a committee report every month.
That's wrong.
And she can't walk across the street to give a committee report about how many rentals there were, how much money was collected, how much money was returned, how much money is made from these auctions that they have over here about once a month. It seems to me that if you're gonna have a committee, and this is on the agenda every month, park committee, there's never anybody that gives any kind of an accounting for that park committee.
Well, along those lines, I disagree with you because Barb has some really good records.